Hey guys, welcome to a Source Gaming discussion. I am your host, Epic Martin 7, and today I am joined by Spazzy.
Hello, and welcome to Rate That... Oh, wait, I'm not doing that? That's not what we're doing? Sorry. Hi. Hi, guys.
Oh man, and I am also joined by Mango.
Hi, I can't follow that up. Thanks, Spazzy.
And today we're going to talk about...
Rate That Leak!
Rate That Leak! That is true. We are talking about leaks because it is E3.
Well, rumors. Or to be fair, we're talking about rumors.
That is true, you know. One way or another. But basically, yeah, we are rating rumors today. And we're kind of doing a little, I guess, overview of them. 4 in particular. However, you know, we have to do this Source Gaming style, so we're only covering the Smash Brothers ones.
Yeah, there have been kind of a plethora of leaks. When you get closer to E3, and I keep calling them leaks, I should be calling them rumors. They might not have any validity. We don't want to make it seem that we're like, oh, this is inside dirt, or these are super real or anything, but we thought it would be fun. Because, once again, we're getting closer to E3 to just go over some of the Smash rumors that we've seen in the past week or two and give our thoughts on it, if we think they might be valid, or if we think, hey, even if it's not valid, is it fun? Would we care if it was real or not? You know,
right, speculation's always going to be fun. That's the whole point of Smash Bros. Speculation. If you're not having fun, then what are you doing with your life, you know? Like...
Right. Which is why I was talking about Blizzard characters in Smash earlier, and everyone's all like, there's not going to be one. I'm like, yeah, but it's fun to talk about. Anyways, back to you.
Exactly. Back to the main program. Anyways, the first leak we're going to cover is the one that happened, I would say, a couple weeks ago, if I'm remembering correctly. It's the Bandai Namco leak from a employee of Nintendo. So this one's pretty interesting because we don't really get these kind of leaks, but this one just so happened to pop up. I guess I'm not going to give the name of who leaked this, just like in the last video, because we care about people's identities and we don't want, you know, bad shit to happen to them, because legal things can be a huge pain in the ass. So this person... basically said in a tweet, and I quote, left Bandai Namco Studios before the production on Super Smash Bros. Began, but the rendering engine it is built on was made by me. So this person also worked on Super Mario Odyssey at Nintendo, but before he left for Nintendo, he worked at Bandai Namco and he worked on the rendering engine. Now, it was quoted in his LinkedIn page that he left Bandai Namco in August of 2016, I believe. Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, so he left Bandai Namco in August, and if you sync the tweet up with the LinkedIn info, it basically means that Smash Bros. Project plan probably started around that time, around the summer. So I guess we'll ask you, Spazzy, what do you think about that?
I mean, this one I consider an actual everything lines up. He worked where he says he worked. It got deleted quickly. I don't think it was the guy trying to leak anything so much as thinking that what he was saying was not a big deal, which clearly it is because especially with Smash, the fan base devours everything. The bigger thing is that we were able to kind of pinpoint a time, because when was it that Sakurai said he was working on a new game? Because it was definitely... No, there was a very specific date.
Sometime in 2016. Sometime...
I forget the exact date, but I remember it's somewhere between like January and... somewhere between like November and February. I think he was saying he was working on a new project. I'm just looking it up now.
Right, it looks in January he brought up the gun he was using.
No, it was in November of 2016.
2016. Okay, so there you go. We have a window.
Yep. So in November 2016,
between August and November.
casually confirms that a game is in development. And I believe the gun came later.
Okay, maybe that's what I was thinking. But yeah, between August and November, so we have a very small window now that we can say this is when. Smash
and the
started.
info brought to us by the wonderful translation team at Source Gaming. Got to plug them in, right?
Those guys, yeah. But yeah, as far as Besides that, I don't really have anything more to say about this. How about you, Mango?
Yeah, I think it's pretty cut and dry. It's just a guy saying, "Hey, look what I did," and then realize, "Oh crap, I shouldn't have said that," and then deleted it.
Look what I did! Oh, look what I did!
The
Yeah,
damn
exactly.
Nintendo ninjas, man. They coming for them.
I mean, it makes sense too because the DLC wrapped up in like February, and then I think Bayonetta was released in February, or whatever it was, somewhere February, March, somewhere around there. So it makes sense that it was not too long after that they would start the next one.
And don't forget too, there was those files that were found in 1.1.6 that made it seem like they opened some of the development drives again, like they were using the data for something, possibly. So that could tie into all of that. And that patch was released in July or June. It was released in June of that year in 2016. So that was the one that nerfed Bayonetta as well. So things correlate pretty well, I would say. I guess we can segue into another leak, which is, I would say, a lot more juicier than this one. But again, as with any leak, you still have to err on the side of caution. So for this one, it's by insider Emily Rogers. This was said on Discord. And the first part of this leak is that she states, and I quote, "Yes, the additions to the Smash Bros. Roster will make people jump out of their seats. I'm excited. Not going to spoil, but trust me on this. You'll be happy with this roster." Not really anything much in this one, but the second one is a lot more juicier, obviously, and this one says, "Smash Bros. Roster is very good. I'm happy with it. I'm not expecting many, if any, cuts, which is one of the key parts of this post. People keep telling me, well, duh, every Smash game is better than the previous roster. Well, sure, but every Smash Bros. Game has had a bunch of cuts. Nintendo wants Switch's Smash Bros. To be the ultimate Smash Bros. Game." Important line here. Ultimate Smash Bros. Game. And no, that is not the title to a Chinese knockoff Smash Bros. Game here.
Maybe she secretly leaked the title. It's just Smash Brothers Ultimate.
Ultimate Marvel vs. Capcom, man. So we're gonna get a couple new characters and stages, and that's it, right? I still maintain that people are hung up on the definition of port, but I think what a lot of us were saying in that regard is how much will this game be altered from the previous game. Every Smash game starts as a port, and I still think it's a valid, not so much concern, but a valid point to bring up. Especially if Emily's saying there's no cuts, that to me makes me think that this was heavily based off the game. I'm not saying that things weren't tweaked, that movesets weren't overhauled, but it says that there will be a lot of similarity between this game. In that
if I'm going to be completely honest, I would 100% agree with you, Spazzy. I think Smash Bros. On Switch is heavily based off of Smash Wii U, and basically first of all, when some people might think, okay, the game's going to be just a regular old port, but of course the game's been marketed as a new game, but it still doesn't mean that it can't have the assets from the original version. I mean, just look at Splatoon 2, just look at Super Mario Galaxy 2, just look at Super Mario World, which was built upon Super Mario Bros. 3's assets, you know? It's a similar... I believe so. The original beta of Super Mario World had the raccoon leaf in there, and it was heavily based on Mario 3. They even experimented with a Mario 3 on SNES, and I believe that was the one included with Mario All-Stars. So it's normal for the games industry to do this. In this case, it's just Nintendo really changing up how they make their games. I mean, don't forget, Kiwashima, when he got in there, said that there would be changes to Nintendo's development process, and what they're doing is making platforms for these games now, so that way they can kind of build upon them and make new titles out of them. I mean, I think we're seeing that with, say, like, Zelda Breath of the Wild and Super Mario Odyssey. We might see them as basis for future titles.
I think a better example of that is Ultra Smash and Mario Power.
That is true.
That there's a lot of hints when people are really looking at it that looks like it was actually built off Ultra Smash. So Ultra Smash basically built the engine, and then they with very little game, and now they were actually able to.
Pretty much, yeah. They finished up the development cycle they should have done on the Wii U, so aces for them. No pun intended. But
Aces, that's what it's called, right? Yeah. Oof, look at me.
Yeah, but
It looks as good as Power Tennis, so
Yeah, so basically that's just my point that it's not unexpected for them to use Smash 3U and 3DS as a base. Hell, I think they did that with Brawl as well, with from Brawl to Smash 4. So it's not nothing unprecedented, but as you stated, I think there's a lot more Smash 4 DNA in this one compared to previous entries in the franchise.
Right, that's what I would pull out of this. I mean, she really didn't say all that much, I'll be honest. It's just two things. And I think a lot of people in the community and in the know have received similar information for the last couple of months, and it's not because you can say everyone will be happy, but no matter what, everybody won't be happy. It gives us very little framework on how many newcomers, what sort of games this is going to be. It's just a general like this is going to be awesome. Don't worry about it. And yeah, the more interesting part to me is the no cuts, which I hope is true. And I mean, we'll see. How about you, Mango? What are your thoughts on this one?
I think it's interesting. We might be at a point with Smash Brothers in particular where they could actually translate like the game and most of the content at least over compared to, let's say, with Melee. It's like, well, you can't just take the models. You have to remake new ones, and you probably had a different engine and animation program and all this, and then probably the same with Brawl. And I mean, Smash Wii U probably wasn't made off of like Unity or anything, but maybe we've hit a point where it's like it's a lot easier to translate it over, so they don't really have to make any cut. I'm still
one thing I want to say as well, just real quick, and I've brought this up kind of over and over again, is that this is the first Smash game since '64, really. I mean, ever when you think about it, that has been made without Sakurai and team having to make any concessions. Because as far as we know, there might be some crazy stuff involved in this game. But as far as we know, there's no Subspace Emissary. This is not the first time they're making it in HD. They don't have to make two completely different engines for a 3DS game. And for a Wii U game, they don't have the crazy turnaround time that they needed for Melee. So it seems like it's a pretty relaxed thing. And going back to the Namco leak, that would prove that this was made by Namco, so it's probably a lot of the same people, a lot of the same team. So you have a team that's already familiar with Smash that has really plenty of time to make it without having to worry about like all of these other factors. So I can believe that this game is just chock full.
Interesting fact, Brawl is the only game to not be developed by HAL Laboratory or Bandai Namco, which sounds weird, but it's literally the outlier in the series. Because I think that game had its own development studio made just for it. So kind of funny how things turn out. You know, 2 games with HAL, 1 with random development studio, and then 2 games or 3 games technically with Bandai Namco. Kind of neat when you look at it. So do you guys have any final thoughts on this Emily Rogers leak?
I think that's it for me. It's like I said, the only real interesting part of this, because there's not. I mean, there's Emily's reputation. And there's the fact that I know other people have heard very similar things to this, but there's no other reason to kind of dig into this as far as credibility goes. And there's no, once again, I'm not knocking her credibility. I'm just saying there's no like pictures that go along with this or anything interesting for us to dissect. And on top of that, what she's saying is pretty straightforward. I would love it if there's no cuts. I can see a world where there's no cuts due to how this game was developed. So I find it believable and really awesome if it's true. And Emily has been pretty spot on, especially recently. So
the only thing I'm curious is, even though she said no cuts, I'm not sure if DLC characters will return. Like, technically, sure, they could port them over, but to me they seem like in this weird space where, because they're extra content, it's justifiable if they don't return, because it's like, oh well, you know, we just did that for extra, the third parties, we just did that as a separate thing. But I mean,
right, third party contracts are something to be aware of. But I think if they want to bring everybody back, they can. I think the hardest one to deal with would probably be Cloud. And actually, it's not on our list, but wasn't there a rumor, or was it maybe Stealth?
Yup, it was Stealth who said that Cloud might have been the last one to be added into the game when it came to rights negotiations.
Which I can see, because Square Enix is kind of a pain. Which is why I always say, you know, Sora, whenever anybody brings him up. I mean, Sora would be cool, and I'm not counting him out. I think if Sakurai 100% wants somebody, he gets it, especially Japanese-wise. But, I mean, it's not only Disney. It's having to deal with Disney, which is almost impossible to begin with. And then the code and the music and other aspects of that game still belong to Square. So you'd have to be dealing with two stingy legal entities.
God. Yeah, it literally, I think that brings down Sora just a bit. I know this is not Rate That Character. We're not in fault advertising, people. But...
Right, and he's, like I said, he's possible. I'm not going to harp on it. But I was just using that as an example where, you know, rights can be complicated. If you look at what Cloud barely got any content. He didn't get an English voice actor. He got
I think,
any
like,
music.
Yeah.
No assist trophy. So yeah, I mean, I could see it one way or another as far as third parties go. Like I said, it depends on this game. But I would think that I can see what you're saying, and I know people have argued for other characters that could be cut or this or that. You know, I know some people have brought up the Mii's a lot as a possible cut. I don't see that. I think that they can still. I think that they still serve the purpose that Sakurai wanted, which was to have any character that you want be able to
Mii's
smash.
are literally, I would think, probably the most customizable fighters that are in Smash Brothers, and that's what makes them unique.
Oh, of course.
So, I mean,
right.
Come on, I want to play as
like
Reggie in Smash for Switch. Come on, give me that option.
Like I said, the reason the reason for Sakurai putting them into the game hasn't changed.
No.
I also think that if they do DLC again, that they're easily monetized for costumes. So. But yeah, I mean, I can see it either way with cuts. I never want cuts. I'm just one of those
Same here.
people. I don't care about slots or the CSS looks messy or whatever. I don't care about that. I think the more options, the better. And I know that every character has fans. So.
Dark Pit took away my King K rule.
Yeah, exactly. Like Dark Pit didn't take Ridley from me. Don't worry.
You need to get rid of like 6 characters for Ridley. That's how it works.
Yeah. Well, yeah, it's exchange.
No, Ridley needs the entire CSS. He needs to cut Mario because of it.
Speaking of Ridley, let's go to the next link.
Actually, that is the wrong... Well, this one doesn't have really explicitly mentioned as far as I know. But this one is... Okay, never mind. It has really explicitly mentioned. Never mind. Whoopsie.
The poster of the slip is there's some big Smash links. Come on, man.
I'm trying to keep up. It's 10:27 here, and usually I have my bedtime around this. So you know what? I'm a motherfucking cranky person here.
Cranky Kong over here. Okay.
Okay. So anyways, so this leak has been posted by Das Vergebin. I'm gonna call him that because that literally is cancer to the English language.
Baby.
Okay, back on topic. Anyways, so we're going down to the list of characters he has said. This person has had multiple leaks throughout this year and a little bit last year, I believe. And he's got some stuff hit or miss, but what he's saying is that Ice Climbers are returning. He's piggybacking off the Ridley rumor going around. And he's also saying, and ironically, because this Rate That Character just came out, Simon Belmont might be added into the game.
Which, by the way, that was planned for a while. That had nothing to do with this rumor.
Yes. I'm pretty sure Spazzy has a lot to... Well, no, you already said a lot in your RTC, so...
Yeah, this one, this guy definitely has some credibility. He did the Turtles and Injustice. He leaked that. He leaked, something about some other Namco stuff. I think he got several Namco things correct. Something about Soul Calibur. I wish we had done a little more background before we started, because I know we've talked to death about this in different Discords and chats and other things. But yeah, he has some credibility. He also has gotten a few things wrong. I'll say this, that these two characters, I know that this has been going around for a while for both of them, so it's not just him.
Mm-hmm.
I know actually before Smash got announced actually for that Direct, a lot of people in Reset Era and other places were teasing Ridley. We talked about Stealth before. Stealth back in April said something about Simon Belmont. Some people, like I said, these are things that are going around. I think there might be some credibility to them, but once again, it's rumors. I don't have any direct sources. It seems believable enough to me. I'm always a little wary about Ridley. It's always like, well, what changed this time to let Ridley in? I mean, I'd love it. These are actually two of my top 5 most wanted. for this game, so I'd definitely be happy.
So, do you have any thoughts on this, Mango?
Yeah, it seems like Ridley and Simon Belmont, and I mean Ice Climber seems a given at this point, but those two characters in particular seem to be making their rounds in a lot of leaks. I haven't really done any background research to see if like these are just some random people that are just parroting what other people are saying, but I don't know, it still seems like there might be something to it if enough people are repeating it.
Yeah, that's a good observation to have. If anyone is repeating any sort of leak that has credibility, there might be something to it. Of course, with any leak, just take it with a grain of salt. You know, that's what we keep on saying here at Source Gaming, but if something is repeated a lot of times, it almost becomes natural, and you just start getting in the mode like, okay, there's something to this. So I would agree. Yeah, there might be something to this, but you know, of course, E3 is coming up, so we'll know soon.
With Ridley, I know, Spazzy, you were saying, you know, what's changed for Ridley this time. The only thing I can think of is, in an interview, someone asked, like, oh, you know, can we get Ridley or whatever? And he's like, well, we tried to. He would have to be a bit slower. Would that matter? And the guy was like, yeah, just put him in. I don't care. So, I mean, publicly,
yeah,
he might have, like, slightly changed. I mean, it's not much, but that's the only difference I can think of compared to before, where it's like, nah, he's too big.
Yeah, so Das Varjaman leaked the Street Fighter V Arcade Edition. He leaked DLC for Dragon Ball Fighters. He leaked some information about Soul Calibur 6, including Soul Calibur 6 being a thing. But he also said it would be on the Switch, so he got some stuff wrong
Now,
there.
think about it this way. Think about the industry as kind of... There's like this kind of secret part where everything's a rumor mill. You know, people talk and leaks. Sometimes people can get a hold of them and they can start fabricating them. So there could be some truth to this, but there, of course, could be a lot of misrepresentation of what the original rumor was supposed to be. Some edits and stuff. I mean, some people even say that happened to the Gamatsu leak, but you know, that's a whole can of worms in of itself. And
yeah, that's a whole video that we're not getting.
Yeah, we actually did articles on that before, so.
Yeah, but like I said, it's been stuff that's been going around to other people besides him. He himself has probably like a 50-50 record, but he is credible. But you know, like any rumor leaker person, everything's not 100%.
Or when it came to Smash 4, did anyone else say like, "Oh, I hear Ridley is coming," or were those just people's hopes?
Yeah, you know, that's another thing I want to bring up real quick.
Because like, how many times have like actual rumors come out?
No matter how many times you hear a rumor and how certain everyone is, go back and see how many of these people that are reporting on these rumors now also thought Shovel Knight was going to be in Smash, and also thought the Inklings were a given for that as DLC. Like, you know, take everything with a grain of salt, because even when everybody's saying it, it doesn't mean it's true. Doesn't mean it's not. It's interesting to talk about. Like I said, I think some of the people we're talking about are credible people. It's always good to keep your ear to the ground, to keep, you know, listening to these things. And if enough credible people talk about something, then, you know, maybe keep alert for it. You know, keep your eyes out for it. But don't take it as a...
Yeah, those are words to live by if you like listening to the rumor mill. That's definitely... You should basically write that motto on your forehead. Like, that is one to have. And then look yourself in the mirror and say, what have I done?
Jeez.
All right, guys. So let's move on to the final leak, which is a new one, or rumor, which is a new one for us today, which I think is an interesting one.
Yep, I'm gonna be honest. This came out just today when we were just recording, and the funny part is the delivery of this I think was badass. And what I mean is, they literally took... This was kind of fun to decipher. They basically said on a Smash Brothers Reddit post, alright, there's this hidden imager and you need to find it. And it was found pretty quick. And literally it had images relating to all the characters this person is supposedly teasing. And people were deciphering it. And then as soon as it started gaining traction, the mods of the Smash Brothers Reddit, like, deleted it. And he was like, you know what, fuck it, I'm just going to post it again, and he actually put all the characters. So right now is a copy and pasted version of the character list directly from him. So luckily that little effort was meaningless, but still all good fun. Did you guys want to go through...
Do we know who this guy is?
No, he literally, the Redditor was created today, and it had the username of Amateur Leak. And so it's about as low on the totem pole as you can get, but we're just doing this for fun. But there are some things that kind of stand out that do, and I'll get into it a little bit with my thoughts later. But anyways, this is where we're going to end part 1. Be sure to check out part 2 when that drops as well for the continuation of this discussion. Anyways, we hope you guys enjoyed the video, and we want to thank you guys for watching. Be sure to follow us on our social media pages, including our Facebook and Twitter accounts. We want to thank our super Patreon, the Duke of Dorks, for his continued support. His channel will be linked in the description below. Anyways, with that out of the way, we hope to see you guys in the next video.